Okay. Now see, we have to calculate minimum price. So first, let's understand what this means. So if you have a particular scenario, what is the lowest possible price at which that call option should trade in the market, and what is the highest possible price at which that call option should trade in the market. Okay. So I'll give you the formulas, but first we will look at the intuition behind these formulas. Okay. So let's think of a scenario. Let's take the same one that we've given you. Strike price is 1000, spot price is 1200, RFR is 10% per annum, and of course maturity is 1 year. Now this is a European call option. Okay, meaning of European is you cannot exercise it today, it can be exercised only on the rate of expiry. Now you want to somehow extract your profit. You can see that there is an apparent profit of 1200 here. Okay, how is that? Because you would buy at 1000 some asset which is worth 1200. You want to extract that profit. So either you can exercise it or you can sell that option in the market. These are two ways in which profit can be extracted. You can't exercise it because it's European. You cannot sell in the market, hypothetical scenario, because there is no liquidity. There is no one to buy. Now what can be done so that I can extract this profit? Okay, so see this carefully, what actions we do today. So this is where here today. First step that we do is we will short sell the stock. Meaning of short selling the stock is that you don't have the stock but you would sell it in the market by hoping that in future price might decrease and you would be able to buy it at a cheaper price. So here short selling the stock means simply selling without having it. So when you buy, you sell later on. So buying once, selling once. The transaction is squared off. Here you've sold first and you would be buying later. But again, selling once and buying once, again transaction would be squared off. Which means the way we are going to square off this position is to buy one stock at a future date. Second thing that I do is I will deposit this 1200. In fact, second thing that I'll do is out of this 1200 I will deposit present value of 1000 rupees in bank. Okay. So let's calculate how much is that amount. Let's calculate present value of 1000 rupees at the rate of 10%. How much? It is 909. So I deposit this 909 rupees in the bank itself. So how much I am left with? Okay, so the amount of money which I am left with today is 291. Is that my money now for the timing? Yes, because that's amount which is left with me. Now imagine that if after 1 year everything gets squared off automatically and I am left with 291 today, then that should be the minimum price at which this option should trade in the market. Are you following this? See, if I have an option and if I've done this with me today, after 1 year if everything gets squared off automatically, I don't have to do anything, then didn't I extract 291 rupees from the market? Yes, so that's the minimum price at which an option will trade in the market. See what happens after 1 year. After 1 year here, these 909 are going to become 1000. Then what you will do is you will take this 1000. Do you already have a call option? Yes, you have a European call option. So using this you will exercise call. You've give away 1000, exercise your call. What do you get now? When you give 1000, when you give call option, what do you get in return? You get stock. That you bought that stock at a price of 1000. And now what this stock will do, a long stock now, this particular stock will square off your short position. So you shorted a year ago. After a year you exercise the call option and you got a stock, and that stock has squared off your short position. So effectively what it means is after 1 year transactions got settled off automatically. But today what you did, you short sold for 1200, you deposited in the bank only 909, and therefore the lowest possible price that option is going to trade is 291. Is this clear? Is it not clear? Oh, okay. Let's think of it this way. that we have a European call option. We cannot exercise it today. Today itself, the spot price has become 1200, whereas I have a right to buy at 1000. So prima facie, there is an apparent profit of 200, and this 200 is the intrinsic value. But an options price is made of intrinsic value plus time value. Time value depends on time to maturity. Okay, so what we want to figure out is what is the lowest price at which this option can trade in the market. If I have that option with me, and somehow if I can make profit of 291 safely 100% without any risk whatsoever, then the minimum price at which this option will trade is 291. Otherwise, if it's less than that, then anyone will buy and make that arbitrage profit, right? So see, if I have that option today, what can I do? Can I short sell the stock in the market? Yes, and I can receive 1200. Okay, now see, this is a theoretical assumption. In real life, when you short sell, you don't receive that money. Okay, but it's somewhat similar to receiving money. So I have short sold the stock, I received 1200. Out of 1200, I deposit 909 rupees in the bank. So now how much money is left with me? 291 rupee. After 1 year, automatically 909 has become 1000. Correct? And I have 1000 rupees. I also have a call option which I'll convert into a stock. And then see, when you are long, you will buy a stock first and then you would sell later. So let's say you buy for 100, you sold for 150. When you are short, you will sell first. So let's say you sold for 170 and you would buy for 120. So you sell first, you buy later, transaction is squared off. So after 1 year, by exercising call option, you get a stock, and this stock will square off your earlier short position. So which means after 1 year, automatically your portfolio will become nil. But at time 0, could you take out 291 for yourself? Isn't it? So therefore, the minimum price at which this call option will trade is 291, which means that we knew that intrinsic value of the stock was 200. So what we've basically calculated here, that 91 is the time value of money. And how did we calculate? This was a function of expiry 1 year, and this was also a function of RFR 10%. Are we clear? So how do you calculate minimum price of a call option? Minimum price of a call option is calculated as spot price 1200 minus present value of strike price, which is 909. This is the formula. But why the formula? This was the intuition behind the formula. Are we clear? So write down this derivation quickly. Done writing? Are we okay? Increase your speed, do it fast. Alright then. This is how you calculate minimum price of a European call option. Let's now say this is not European call option. Moving on to next point. Now this is a American call option. Now in European, we said that there are two ways of exiting an option: exercising and selling the option. Exercising was not possible because it was European, but now it's American. So now I can exercise immediately, and if I can exercise, how much money will I get? 200, and therefore minimum price of American call option should be 200. Why? Huh? Why should we consider that? See, in European we had a technical problem. We can't exercise. That's why we use this method. But in American I can exercise and I can get 200 immediately. So then minimum price of American is 200. I'm intentionally doing this. Tell me why. Why it's not 200? Though I can exercise at 200, though I can have the benefit, will I have it? See, logically, if I tell you that you have an instrument, there are two ways in which you can sell. If you sell in the first way, you get 200. But if you sell in the second way, you get 291. Which one will you use? 291. So if you remember, first time when we studied American call option, just go to that section. First time when we studied American call option, I made you write down a note. Okay. Are you being able to find it? The note was, value of American call option should be at least as much as value of European call option. Why? Because American call option is nothing but European call option plus extra flexibility. So therefore, even though I can exercise and even though I can have the benefit of 200 today, I will decide not to exercise, because when I decide not to exercise, I get benefit of 291, and therefore simply minimum theoretical value of European call and American call is exactly same. Okay, so you can, below that you can write down in your explanation. Have you written down for European call? So below write down American call. American call can be exercised. American call can be exercised instantaneously. Immediately. American call can be exercised instantaneously. However, immediate exercise would result in payoff of rupees 200 as against the minimum theoretical value of European call option, of rupees 291. Next sentence, so next paragraph. Since the value of American call option should be at least as much as value of European call option, comma, we will keep the minimum theoretical value of American call option as 291. So the intuition is, though I can exercise the American call option, there is no benefit of immediate exercise. So therefore we will employ the same strategy that we employed for European call and have the benefit of 291. Are we good here? So later on I'll be giving you a technique to remember this minimum maximum values. Okay. Next one. Now I am on European put option. Okay. Strike price is 1000. Spot price, let us say, is 400. Strike price 1000. Spot price 400. RFR is 10%. Maturity is 1 year. European put means right to buy, right to sell. I have a right to sell at what price? 1000. Price in the market is 400. If I exercise this immediately, how much profit will I have? 600. But it's a European put, I can't exercise immediately. Let's assume in the market there is no liquidity. Now what actions can you take so that you can extract the profit out of this option? Think of it. What can you do so that you can extract the profit out of this option? Okay, write down now. Here. See what I do today. Yes, anyone has got answer? You cannot, because market price is 400. So no one will buy at 909 from you. Huh? Put option है, European put. From where will you get 1000 rupees? Borrow from bank and deposit in the bank again. The banker would be really happy with you. Alright, let's see the logic now. See what I do today. Number one, I go to a bank, I borrow, and I will borrow present value of 1000. And present value of 1000 is 909. Then out of this, I will buy a stock. I will buy a stock for 400. How much I am left with? 509. If after 1 year everything gets settled off immediately, I don't have to worry. Then that 500 is the minimum value. Let's see what happens after 1 year. After 1 year, this amount of outstanding loan has become how much? 1000. So you are supposed to pay 1000. Do you already own a stock? Yes, you have that stock that you purchased last year. Do you have a put option? Yes. Can you exercise and sell that stock at a price of 1000 irrespective of what is the price in the market after 1 year? So when you sell 1000, will you receive 1000? Yes. And can you give this 1000 to the bank and say transaction squared off after 1 year? Yes. So which means at time 0, that 509 that was left with you, that is the value that you could extract out of that put option. So therefore, how do you calculate theoretical minimum price of put option? It is to be calculated as present value of strike, present value of 1000 minus the spot price, which was 400. Should I repeat this part again? If the market price is 400, I have a put option. I have a right to sell. So the person who gave me that put option, he took the obligation to buy. So you're right that currently market price is 400. Why would someone buy at 1000? But then if I have purchased a put option, farmer, he's taken an obligation to buy from me at a Farmer is not an example, but yeah, he took an obligation to buy from me at a price of 1000, so he will buy from me. I just exercise my put option. The third part, see, when I exercise my put option here, right? When I exercise my put option, I have a right to sell. Right to sell what? Stock. Do I already have the stock? Yes. So I will give the stock. I will give the put option. What do I get? 1000. So I will receive those 1000 rupees. And once I receive 1000, I will go to the bank. I will give them 1000 rupee. My loan is squared off. This is clear? So write down this quickly now. So you don't have these derivations for the exam, okay, but it's always a good idea to know the derivation. So even if you forget the formula, you can derive it by yourself. Have we done? Let us now say this is not a European put anymore. Let's assume that this is an American put. Now, American put means I can exercise this option immediately. If I exercise, how much do I get? 600. But will I exercise? Yes, I will exercise now. Because when I exercise immediately, my profit is going to be 600, and since it's more than European put, I don't mind exercising it immediately. So simply the minimum value of American put is X minus S, 1000 minus 400, 600. And now there is a benefit of immediate exercise. And that's why if you'd see, yesterday also we wrote one exception, European put. Today again it comes out to be an exception. There is a benefit of immediate exercise here. So generally in option world, all the exceptions are linked to European puts. So write down below that American put with immediate exercise of American put, the amount of benefit will be, with immediate exercise of American put, the amount of benefit will be rupees 600. Since this is more than minimum theoretical value, of European put option, we can assign X minus S, as minimum theoretical value. We can assign X minus S as minimum theoretical value for American put option. Alright, now let us see an easier technique to remember this. Okay. So European call, American call, European put, American put. So I am building this into a table. This is my European call, American call, European put, American put. The first column is my minimum values. The second column is my maximum value, that What is the lowest price at which option will trade in the market? What is the highest price at which options will trade in the market? How you would remember this on the exam? Create some hypothetical scenario for yourself. Say strike price is 100, spot price is 150. Apparently right to buy at 100, whereas price in the market is 150. Benefit is how much? 50. Which means it is to be calculated as S minus X. Don't write it immediately. Leave some space here. First understand this. This is also S minus X. Then here again create a scenario. Strike price 200, spot price 170. Some asset which is 170 I have a right to sell at 200. So my benefit is now X minus S and X minus S. Can you derive this much? And once you can derive this, then for the first 3x add present value to it. So present value, present value, present value, your minimum values are ready. Don't do anything to the last one. Present value for the first three one, and that is given your minimum values. And then how do you get your maximum values? Take the first term here and simply write that down here. This is the maximum value at which those options can trade in the market. And why maximum value is fairly logical. If the spot price today is 100, there is a call option available which lets you buy at a very cheap price. Will you buy that call option at a price more than 100? You would rather sell, go and buy the stock. Why should I buy it right to buy stock? So which means price of a call option should never exceed its own spot price. Are you following this? And here you have a right to sell at 100. Even if that spot price becomes 0, the maximum money you would receive is 100. So you will never buy the option above 100. But in case of European put option, even that 100 will come on expiry. So you will not buy the stock at a price above present value of X. And since here that 100 will come immediately today, you will not buy the put option at a price above X. Is this clear? Should I repeat this again or is it okay? So this is how you can remember it, that the first term are the maximum values here. Okay. So make the table and you should be able to solve questions on these now. We're done. Should we move on now? Okay, so now we are prepared well to approach these questions. Let's solve the question number 9 that you people wrote down yesterday. Okay. So in your flowchart, the guide that I've given you, 60-minute guide, that has got all these tables. Okay, so if you watch it frequently, you would automatically remember most of the concepts. Let's solve this one. Yes, is it done? Do you have the answer? What is the minimum theoretical price? 36.36. Okay. So, part A, all of you got 36? Anyone who's not being able to do it? Okay. So, part A was straightforward. In part B, so a simple thumb rule here. The price of the option is 30. Is it overvalued or undervalued? Because your calculation says minimum price is 36, whereas it's available at a price of 30, it is undervalued. And since you want to make an arbitrage, of course that arbitrage is that you should be what? If something is undervalued, what should you do? Huh? Yes, buy it, because then you would make profit. So see how you can make profit here. Part B, you can write down, since the option is trading, answer to part B, since the option is trading at a price less than its minimum theoretical price, we should buy the call option and exploit following strategy. So what strategy are we going to use here? See, again the same actions. So you can say actions today on the left hand side, and then action after 1 year. So first thing that you do, you will short sell the stock. And when you short sell the stock, how much money will you receive? When you will short sell the stock, how much money will you receive? 200. So you will receive this 200 rupees. Then short selling the stock, later on I would be required to square off the position by buying the stock. What I'll do out of this 200, first I will deposit in bank present value of 180. So how much am I required to deposit? 160, 163.1666. Fair enough. So 163.63 is what you deposited in the bank. Third thing that you'll do is you will buy call option. Call option will come to you at what price? 30 rupees. That's the market price. So how much money you are left with here? 6.26. So you are left with 6.26 rupees for yourself. What happens after 1 year? After 1 year, step number 1, 163 rupees, your fixed deposit will be worth 180 rupees. Right? So it will give you 180. Second, you will take your 180 rupees plus you have the call option. 180 rupees is coming from here and call option is coming from here, that you bought the call option a year ago. And then using this you will exercise your call option. Once you exercise the call option, that means buying that stock. So what you have now is a stock with you, and this stock will square off earlier short position, which was here. It squared off the earlier short position, and therefore you could exploit an arbitrage, a riskless profit for yourself at a price of 6.26. So below that you can say, are you done writing this? Do you want me to repeat any part, Anuja, or is it okay? Sure. Is back there. Is this clear? So hence arbitrage profit exploited out of mispricing. Arbitrage profit exploited out of mispricing is rupees 6.26. Exploited, arbitrage profit exploited out of mispricing. There's a mispricing in the market. It should be 36.26, but it's 30. Is 6.26. So see, to be honest, you would have to imagine that how to exploit that arbitrage, okay, and that thing should come to you naturally. But since you're doing this for the first time, I'm not expecting that immediately you would start thinking of these strategies, but when you would read this question and solution probably once or twice, then automatically you would be clear in terms of what strategy is to be used when. Are we good to move on? Any questions? No? Alright, let's move on to the next question now. Question number 10. I think we are using a different number convention today. We were up to 1 or 2 yesterday. So anyways, when I'll give you this question file, you can just re-put the numbers. Question number 10. Let's calculate theoretical minimum price of European put option after 6 months. European put, the third row in your table. The only thing you want to be careful is this is only for 6 months. Should we do this together? Now see, risk-free rate is given as 5% per annum. How much for 6%? How much for 6 months? 2.5? Okay. So yeah, that's why we need to do one session on time value of money. Okay. We'll probably try to do it tomorrow. See, of course, your calculator has got certain limitations. Okay, you can calculate second root, anything under root 2. You can calculate fourth root. You can calculate sixth root. But in your calculator, you cannot calculate third root and fifth root or seventh root. Okay. So in this case, since the compounding is twice, it's simple. Okay. So for the timing, I'll give you the answer. That 5% per annum is not 2.5% for 6 months. Okay, because if I say 2.5% for 6 months, you can try this. Say 100 plus 2.5%, which is 102.5, and then plus 2.5%, which would make this more than 105. Okay, so 5% per annum is not equal to 2.5% per quarter. So how much is that? We calculate this as 1.05 under root. 1.05 under root. How much is that? 1.0246. So 5% per annum means 2.46% per, sorry, 5 per 6 months. 2.46%, not, now you can check this. Say 100 plus 2.46%. 100 plus 2.46% equal to, plus 2.46% equal to. And now it will give you close to 105. Okay, we lost few decimals, so it would not be exact. So we'll do session tomorrow purely on learning time value of money. So let's for the timing solve this together. So how do I calculate that? To simply say theoretical minimum price of European put is equal to present value of X minus the spot price. Present value of X is to be calculated as this 100 is the X here, 400 divided by 1 plus 5% raised to 1 by 2, and anything raised to 1 by 2 is nothing but root 2, and minus the spot price, which is 370. How much is the answer? Karo? 20.36. Okay, so below that minimum theoretical price of European put option is 20.36. Okay, now A was easy. Let's go to part number B. Part number B says if European put option price is rupees 10, then how can an arbitrager make profit? Okay, so now we would say, write down part B, write down the answer. Since the put option is undervalued, since a put option is undervalued, there is an arbitrage profit, there is an arbitrage profit opportunity, there is an arbitrage profit opportunity of rupees 10.36, of rupees 10.36, which can be exploited as follows. Of rupees 10.36, which can be exploited as follows. So again we will make a table. The left hand side we will say actions today. The right hand side we will say actions after 1 year. Now current stock price is 370. It's a put option. It is undervalued. That means we should be buying the put option. Okay, so I'm just getting you thinking. We should be buying the put option, means I have a right to sell. So after 1 year I will be selling the stock. After 1 year I will be selling the stock. So if I will be selling the stock after 1 year, I need to have the stock today. That means I need to buy the stock today. But do I have money to buy the stock? No. So I need to borrow. So what do we borrow here? So let's see it carefully. Let us first, now we'll have to make multiple borrowings. Okay. Let us first borrow 370 rupees here, which is the current stock price, and by using this money let us buy a stock. We borrowed 370 rupees and we bought a stock. Second, let us also borrow additional 10 rupees, and by borrowing this 10 rupees buy a put option. Now also borrow present value of 400 minus 370 minus 10. Calculate how much? Calculate present value of 400. So 400 divided by 1 plus 5% raised to 1 by 2 minus 370 minus 10. 10.36. So keep this 10.36 rupees with yourself. Okay. So effectively what I have done is I have borrowed total amount of 390 था. So we've borrowed a total amount of 390. We've just divided into three parts. So I borrowed 390, then I bought a stock of 370, I bought a put option of 10 rupees, and then remaining 10.36 is remaining with me. Now after 1 year my total amount of outstanding loan is going to be how much? 400, because I had borrowed present value of 400, so outstanding loan is going to be 400. Number 2, now do I already have a stock with me? Yes. Plus, do I have a put option with me? Yes. So I will exercise my put option. And when I will exercise my put option, I will receive how much? I have a right to sell at what price? 400. So I will receive 400. And these 400 will square off my outstanding bank loan. And therefore, this amount of 10.36 which I was left, this is my arbitrage profit that we could exploit today. Is it clear? Yes, Kulbhushan. Are you done writing? Do it quickly. How do you understand how it is compounded? It doesn't specify. Yes. Yes. See, you always have to remember that there are certain conventions which are used in the interest rate world. Okay, so number 1, if nothing is mentioned, the rate is always annual. Number 2, if nothing is mentioned, the compounding is always annual. But when I say 10% compounding annual, or let's say 10% compounding annual, I can also find out always an equivalent rate which will give me the same result but which is compounded semi-annually, which is compounded quarterly. So tomorrow we'll do it. Okay, I need to figure out how to do it on your calculator, so we can do it tomorrow. Are we clear here? Okay, so great, let's stop here for the day.